little positiveness out of you, Brittany, for God's sake. Are we live?
I think so.
Oh, okay. We're live.
Hey!
How's it going, everybody? Once again, we don't have a guest. I'm just going to put that out there.
We tried kind of to get one.
Yeah, we were supposed to have one. We have really high standards for guests, and the person we wanted in wasn't available. And the thing is, we really need to do a Thanksgiving show because like our 7 or 8 fans have really been clamoring for a new podcast.
There's a lot of time to kill over this break.
Oh, people are going to be traveling. There are going to be times where there's just immense boredom behind the wheel. And so our loyal listeners, which include Cease, for sure. I mean, he listens to every one of them. Gherkin listens to every one of them.
As they should.
Yeah, those guys that's our loyal followers.
It's kind of our core.
We'll bring them to the top as well. I mean, I'll find...
No doubt. Well, okay, I've been actually thinking about this because I'm shocked that we haven't had an offer yet for sponsorship. I mean, there's a lot of young, impressionable minds out there. I would think maybe we should talk to G-Show at Cliff. You know, we'll talk about at the beginning, hey, kids, feeling a little peaked on the end of those workouts? Football practice got you down? Stuff a Cliff Bar in your sock, and then, you know.
The movies from Tuesday before Thanksgiving have you tired? Take one of these Cliff shots. Yeah, I didn't show movies today for the record.
I did not either.
No.
I'm hardcore.
Yeah, it just is what it is. You know, you can call it whatever you want, but I call it mailing it in. Just gonna put that out there.
Some people get so close that they just quit and they shut it down. You and I are finishers.
That's exactly. We were in the weight room looking at those slogans on the wall.
We were both lifting today with Mr. Taylor.
When you see something that to the effect of the ocean is comprised of many rivers, and no matter how small that river is, it's an integral part of that ocean, which is not remotely true, but it's inspirational.
I mean, if you look at it in the right light, the guy that's over there on the 5s does still feel like he's got a place in there.
Yeah.
Now, in all fairness, sometimes I use those 5s for certain moves.
Yeah, you're right.
You know?
You're right. The guy with no ability to require a spot is important, like a river.
Hopefully, I don't know.
We could do an entire show on football cliches, but considering the boys came through real big time.
They sure did.
Beating an undefeated Eagle Crest the other day in what I would say is one of the greatest defensive performances I've seen. And I watched the TV. I've watched every single one of the games on television because we have an incredible broadcast crew.
It's unreal.
Who gave us a shout-out. I didn't tell you this. They gave us a shout-out.
As they should, really. Though.
That's fair.
That's just drawing more.
That's just mentioning our podcast gets ratings up.
It does.
I'm sure Chas is going to want a cut of that.
Yeah, let's not get started on them.
Yeah, let's not go there. I don't have a lot of nice things to say. Whereas I usually have tons of nice things to say about everybody.
That's true.
That's kind of my reputation.
You are kind of the bright, positive guy.
So, look, man, this is the Thanksgiving show.
It is. We started with eating a little bit of Miss Hotelling's pumpkin chocolate
raisin.
Something amazing.
It was unreal.
Yeah. So I'm sure she's listening at home while
Dawkins,
cooking.
There's food in this room
right
now, and it's not our fault.
Also, I'm stealing that Grateful Dead coffee mug because I kind of think it belongs with me.
Yeah, it does. Because you followed the Dead.
I did.
Legit follower.
Right.
Ponytail Bruno. Ponytail Chubby Bruno was a Dead.
Well, it started out Ponytail. Well, I wasn't ripped ever. Let's get that straight. But the chub came. Yeah, actually, really, kind of right when I cut my hair off is when the chub sort of. It's like Samson losing his strength.
Samson, that's good.
But the years had caught up to me.
Yeah. Well, you're super fit now.
Thanks, Chris.
Want to take resting heart rates right now?
I have a feeling you'll probably win. You're a little more psychotic than I.
Johnny was up here, and I wanted to go resting heart rate with him.
Oh, let's take a quick little gander here.
Because we're totally relaxed.
Is it bad that I can feel no pulse?
That's a really good resting heart rate.
Yeah, so I think I won.
I think you won.
I died. I'm so healthy.
It's Thanksgiving, bro. You usually fly home.
I try not to. You know, you got to pick. Holidays are miserable for travel for multiple reasons. If you're surly like us, but let's be honest, everybody's stressed. Flights are more expensive. If I do go home, there's just all this extra tension around the house, and staying with the parents because their feelings get hurt if I try to
With anything.
make any other arrangement. So now
to
the
go
gig
there.
is I show up. At least this year, I kind of masterminded this plot where I'm not showing up till December 27th, and I stay till the day of the 31st.
That is brilliant.
So I'm there for about the same amount of time, like a little 4-day jaunt. I'm back here to work on New Year's Eve if I need to at the other location. And they will be de-stressed because they'll be done with all of the fighting that usually occurs around hosting Christmas Eve. I'll miss the, look what I got, and, my dad taking pictures of people opening up presents. All that will be off my radar.
It's a great call. You're a thinker.
Well, this year I kind of feel I'm pretty impressed with how I've managed this whole thing.
It's awesome. And you may or may not be coming with me.
It looks like a no.
Okay.
I think Grant is a little more sensitive than you in terms of his feelings.
Huh.
So
I didn't know anybody was more sensitive than I was.
that's true. You are at
I
the top of my
I
list.
start crying now.
Yeah.
The historically, certainly for our college graduates out there, Thanksgiving is the big holiday.
Yeah.
flying
Oh, for coming home and
Because that Wednesday night before Thanksgiving,
it's always disaster.
Was legend.
yeah. So we had the Druid Pit was our tradition, and much to the chagrin of most of the parents.
Oh,
Because
parents in my town. Granted, I'm old. I would come home from college. It was late '80s, and parents were on board, just like whatever.
the good old days.
Yeah, when they were like Wednesday night is Wednesday night, and do with it what you please. Obviously, things have changed considerably. Kids, we're no longer in that state of mind. But
No, my Wednesday night will probably be. Oh, I'll be working, but normally I'd be like, maybe.
you're working Wednesday?
Yeah.
I might come by there.
There you go.
So you're gonna chill with Grant Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I think so.
What's he doing?
We're just gonna be sitting around the house with Bob Barker.
Oh, that's pretty mellow.
Pretty mellow.
There's nothing going on.
We'll make some food. I think there's a couple of other events we may stop by and attend.
So some late night stuff. You're definitely welcome to come over.
I want to go to Boulder, but then the dealing with him and will be his little feelings get hurt.
Yeah. It's tricky. We're not doing Boulder this year. We're doing Wheat Ridge at the
That I didn't know. That may have changed it completely. Shannon's mom is like a safe place for me.
Yeah, that is nice because you've been to Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and there's I feel then it's more mellow. But if I'm going into someone else's territory,
No. Meredith and Barth, that's a safe place. It's a chill place. You'd be fine there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't anticipate any fighting.
No, I didn't think like that.
This is a different family than my East Coast family. My East Coast, I'd come home and it was awful. It had its. Usually, I would stay in the city with buddies, and then go across the river to
Take one for the team.
Yeah, I always brought my buddies from New York City because a lot of my friends, from after prep school, just moved right into the city. So, and of course, Ross and those guys were all in the city. So, it was great. You go into the city and you hang out. It's a killer night in the city Wednesday night. Thursday night's a killer night in the city too. And you go over, you hang out, and it's good. It's good. You miss all the intense passive aggressiveness that tends to befall this particular holiday. I don't know what it is about Thanksgiving. It might go back to the origin where we have to kind of fake the whole getting along with the Indians because it was really just a big slaughter, big inhumane mistreatment, subjugation of poor native peoples.
Think about that, kids, while you're carving up a turkey.
While you're carving up that turkey, know how many Native Americans probably died because they should have I can't make judgments here, but, well, I guess I just did. But, yeah, maybe it's the fact that we all subconsciously are aware that Thanksgiving is kind of marks the beginning of the end for the native peoples of this continent.
It's also the beginning of the end of your body and soul for a period of about a month and a half, really, Because nothing. I mean, it starts with now. Granted, this pumpkin bread was delicious,
Unreal.
but you're taking home 5 pies.
I am taking because our the parents
Are
at this
awesome.
school are awesome. You will hear me complain about a million different things at this place, but the parents will never be one of them.
Nope.
Because they hook us up. And Pie Day, I told the parents that were down there, I was like, you don't understand. This is pumpkin pie is my thing. It's just my thing. And to be able to take home 5 pumpkin pies.
Right. Well, you've got a couple. You got some of those, whatever those apple
I did
ones
grab
are.
a couple of those apple strudels.
I kind of feel like I need to trade you my strawberry rhubarb for one of those apples.
But that's a weird pie.
Yeah, I know.
Man.
What was I thinking?
Rhubarb's like a root.
I actually like strawberry rhubarb combo. You know what? I'm sticking by it. Now, the other one I got was somebody, I don't know who it was, some sweet parent out there who made their homemade pecan.
Yeah.
That's my jam right there.
Yeah.
If you can master that.
The moms that went and made, you got to be kidding me. We have 1,000 pies for the faculty here.
I'm sure there was a dad or two.
You know what? That is. I was being sexist.
Right.
There was a dad who gave up
Real
4
men
hours
of
golf.
genius. It did.
Who gave up 4
Well,
hours
you can
of
have it on in the
golf.
background.
Or maybe it was that snow day where a dad was like, you know what? I want to contribute to
Right.
the pies that are going to those teachers.
Uh-huh.
And that dad
They
stayed
put a
home.
shot of bourbon or something in
Yeah,
there.
that would not be a problem.
The alcohol cooks off, kids.
Well, no, but not if you pour it on after.
Well, okay, that would be a very different.
That's bourbon pie.
What?
Not that I wouldn't even drink that. I wouldn't even touch that pie.
Yeah, why would you?
Because I get high on life and God
Mm-hmm. And kombucha.
and kombucha.
Yeah, which I just had one before this podcast.
Yeah, it's the reason we were having a podcast.
Right.
Is kombucha. I'd be sleeping.
So right now, Synergy, send us a check, and we will talk about how great kombucha
Yeah.
is to these kids.
And by the way, kids, we really do endorse kombucha. This is, we're playing right into his hands because he says we can't keep focus at all.
What are we supposed to focus on? Today we
Yeah.
have 0 topics.
Yeah, I have topics. I asked the kids for topics.
Oh, wow, you have a little
But
list.
Thanksgiving's a big topic. Like it
That's
goes
true.
in a
We
lot of
can
different
keep going.
directions. Kombucha, just an endorsement, and it's not because Sage is like a part owner. That Happy Leaf that you serve at your establishment
Oh, yeah.
is unreal.
It's
kombucha.
great, and they're good people.
It is a separate entity from the rest of kombucha.
I agree.
I love the other stuff, and there could be something in the bottling process where you lose something. To be fair to Synergy.
I mean, I've heard rumors. Synergy, we could change these rumors, and if you sent us that check. But I've heard rumors that they don't necessarily have the most, whatever. I mean, people who drink kombucha are generally speaking going to be into no soybean was harmed in the process kind
Yeah.
of a deal. And there's something about the mother being organic versus not, and reusing the same one is like bad form, and I guess they do.
Oh. Well, if we find out that's true, and that's all alleged, by the way.
Right, alleged.
Although
I've been drinking it left and right, so I'm not
I'm
too
endorsing
concerned.
the product, but
I can't find Happy Leaf in stores anymore.
I didn't know I've never even seen them in a store.
They were in Whole Foods for a while, and dude, they were $1.50 cheaper.
You got to be kidding me.
Yep, I bought it all. That's all I did was buy it.
Well, if there's anybody from Happy Leaf who's listening,
I know
because-
some of those folks. We should talk to them.
How would you not know them? They come in and refill your kombucha.
He hasn't been in a while.
My son loves Happy Leaf kombucha
He
and
does.
notices a difference because when we come into your drinking establishment, my 8-year-old loves a good kombucha, caffeine
With a soft pretzel
with a
and
soft-
spicy
and
mustard
that
back.
incredible mustard. It's just unreal how much he loves that Happy Leaf.
He sure does.
But it is what it is. I do hope Synergy's on the up and up and not deceiving us because I drink a lot of it. I drink that's like a $15 a week habit for
It's
me.
not a cheap one. I quit coffee.
And then I picked up kombucha.
Yeah. I mean, well, apparently that's better for you.
Well, is there anything really wrong with I don't know. I gave up coffee a couple of years ago to go to chai. And by
That's
the
when-
way, we sound like The View right now. This is bad.
It's pretty bad. Let's shift gears. Although I kind of want to keep going because I have been
go with it.
I've been sober from coffee.
Yeah, me too.
It's hard to say for
I'm
5 weeks now, and I'm not.
5 weeks
Yeah,
only?
and I had like a 2-week it was not normal. I thought my head was exploding for 3 days in a row.
Yeah.
And then I read that you were going to experience the fog.
Yeah.
And when I taught, I thought I was teaching through liquid. I was so dumb.
It's so hard.
But now I'm kind of back, but it's like now I can still wake up in the morning, but I don't get that like da-da-da-da-da, you know.
You didn't come off it with coffee methadone, i.e.
No.
chai?
I did nothing. I went cold.
That's impressive.
But sometimes I like to test myself in these endeavors.
That's pretty impressive, dude. Because I couldn't have done it without the methadone. That chai got me through.
Well, I did. I mean, I guess my cheat. It's all caffeine free, but I do have tea, and I think that at least kind of tricks my mind into thinking I'm having something.
Well, yeah, that's a methadone. Yeah, but you know, it's incredibly offensive to be told that tea has just as much caffeine as coffee.
No, it does
That
not.
is ridiculous. There is nothing for caffeine in tea.
No.
I don't care if you're dealing with the greatest black teas from the eastern.
What does Celestial have? They have one called like Morning Thunder.
Oh, see, now that is interesting because maybe they've upped the caffeine in that, but a regular tea.
They put coffee in it.
It's just coffee.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
It's coffee grounds.
Is this instant?
We're making a fortune off this Sanka. They think it's tea.
That's right.
Wow, it tastes delicious. My grandfather used to rock that Sanka. The instant coffee where you just pour it in your thing.
The old folk love it.
The old folk did love
But creature comfort, I mean, I get it. You and I are going to be like, I love that synergy, you know? And people are going to be like, Jesus, that crap?
Yeah. Oh, no, we're going to have much worse habits than synergy. It'd be a slow degradation into old personhood and eventually ending up in the non-racist Gran Torino guy.
Right. Well, I think for me, it'll be like, I'll stay fit as long as I can, and then once I give up on that, it's over. Then it's like couch.
Look, I can't speak for you. I can kind of speak for you. We don't have vices. I really don't. But I will when I'm old.
Right.
You know, when they lock me up in some horrible place in a year or two or 20, that's when I start smoking. And
I would probably go back to heaters. Yeah.
Just like
those were dark days, man.
It's just, you go through life and both of us, I think we can talk about this because both of us are really into fitness and taking care of ourselves. And I think that it's fair and justified to say that at 80, I deserve to compensate for all of these years.
Everything I preserved, I will now destroy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, and just make it, I guess, I don't know. That might have been inappropriate, all of us, the whole conversation. But I don't care because I'm a great model for the young in terms of I don't smoke, I barely drink.
Tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah, it is tongue-in-cheek. Well, it's not really tongue-in-cheek for me.
I just don't know.
I'm not going to lie.
I don't know what it'll be like. But, I do want to be I kind of want to be wise old guy, but still wearing flannels. And, like, hopefully at that point I will have moved and relocated to something more mountainous.
Yeah,
kind of like
dude.
Crusty.
Mountains of Santa Fe.
Yeah, that'd be all right.
Motorcycles. Gardening.
And just kind of really grow the beard and hair back out.
Oh.
And just sort of give people that look like, I think he's crazy.
Yes.
They'll leave you alone.
Yes. Like a Laurel Canyon.
Yeah.
60s
right.
thing.
And then, you kind of, deep down, you're still the sweet guy like in Home Alone, the guy that's always putting salt down, that scares Kevin, but then saves the day with him at the end.
Yes.
That's kind of you. You just wait.
Mm-hmm. I got no beef with anybody. I really don't, man. When I get older, I just want to be.
I'm trying.
Yeah, I want to live in. It's just a NorCal thing.
Yep.
Yeah, obviously, places like Carbondale are very appealing to me, but I'd like to be able to surf again when I'm older. That would be important. I'd like, I refuse to ride a longboard. I just won't ever.
That's a death trap for me.
Shortboarding is the way it's at. I'm not willing to acknowledge that I have to ride a longboard yet. But at 70, I'll be cool with a longboard.
I just want one of those cruiser bikes, just super heavy, super comfortable, bop around town.
Mm-hmm. The guy with the long flowing hair.
Right, but I'll still be here. Let's be honest.
Have you seen that Apple commercial with the guy in the Speedo diving off the thing?
I have.
I worship that guy.
That guy is kind of. A
I
stud.
mean, I just worship his freedom. The way the guy in the Southern Comfort commercial walking down the beach with the Speedo. I know it's a little awkward that both the guys I worship from commercials have Speedos on.
Well, but it's the fact that you can get to that age, and you know what it is? It's the freedom and confidence that comes with. I don't care what you think.
We were.
But you're kind of there.
We were.
You
up
wear
in,
Uggs.
I do wear Uggs, and I'm but.
And not like the man Uggs, like the
I
fur-lined
wear
boots.
I don't.
Another possible sponsor.
Uggs. I had my first Uggs, by the way, in college, and you had to mail order them from the back of Surfer magazine. Same exact Uggs I have right now. They were for dudes or ladies. They've been around for a long time. I'd be willing to wager a bet that they've been around since the 70s.
Well, I don't really want to take that bet, and I'm not up in my Uggs history. I'm not claiming that as like a source of pride, though.
So, speaking of that old guy and this whole Speedo thing,
Yeah.
and I'm not there yet. I'm not like that secure yet. But I was up in Winter Park with the little man and the missus. We go up there every 2 weeks for bike races. And I forgot my swimsuit. Well, Dean Darty had given me like a size medium Speedo. But I don't know why.
Please tell me you're going to go ahead and tell me that you just happened to have that.
Well, I did.
So
but
you
it was
didn't
all I
forget
had.
anything.
It was all I had.
Yeah.
In the car. It was still in the box, dude. I'm being legit here.
Fred, they come in a box, huh?
They do. They come in a box.
You just put a rubber band on it.
So Marco's, he's a little swim bug.
Uh-huh.
And
Hulk swim.
Yeah, so Hulk swim. But Shannon's freezing. I mean, she's been in the pool for like 2 hours. I come back all selfish. I've been off gallivanting around on my mountain bike.
Mm-hmm.
She's freezing. She's blue. It's like getting cooler, but he's still swimming. Someone has to be in that pool. I don't have a bathing suit, so I realize I have this Mike Daugherty suit in. By the way, I think the reason I had that Mike Daugherty suit was I was going to wear it in the dunk tank.
Right, but then you got the kibosh on that.
Then a wise Mike Daugherty said, "Don't you dare wear that in the dunk tank," because I don't think too well. But
I don't think good.
I don't think good. But I had to rock that thing. But I had to go around to the families at the pool.
Wait, you had to do like a little
prelection.
pre-election.
I had to do a pre-election. I had
Hello,
to go
ma'am
around
or
to
sir.
all the families at the pool, and I had to say, "Look, man, I have a Speedo on, and I want you to all know that I'm not weird or anything like that. But it's the only
Totally normal thing to do.
It's my kid is in the pool. You've seen my wife with my kid. So what do? I get the Speedo on, and if it's not bad enough, my wife takes a bunch of snapshots, starts sending them out to all my boys. I think you got one of those snapshots.
I don't know if I did.
You got one because she went right through my phone and picked out. Or maybe she was being.
Although, in all fairness, you're acting like this is the first time, but I may or may not have seen you in a Speedo before at a particular end of the year teacher party.
Those were different days.
Yeah, that's what we could talk about those days.
No, we can't. Really.
Well, we can talk about some of it.
Yeah, there was some fun times. We were talking with JBK about
That's right.
Faculty around this place. We used to hang out. I mean, we used to hang out.
Well, there used to be a lot of, granted in today's culture, I don't think it's acceptable, but back in the day, things used to be a little, what do you want to say?
A little more low-key.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Rambunctious. You had a lot of young teachers at that particular time. And then the old stage crews were just as crazy as we were. So the mix in the early 2000s, I would say, was there was just a lot of shenanigans, a lot of pranks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the fisticuffs.
Lots of basketball was the center of the fighting world, both with students and teachers.
Well, because before Ken Shaw got here and this is a props to Ken Shaw, but the dude has those kids practicing 18 hours a day. So that gym is always
Thank
occupied.
God.
And we see the fruits of that in 3 state championships. But it was much more fun for the faculty when the hoops team wasn't
3 in however many games.
Yeah, they were not winning 3 championships, so the faculty could play hoops all the time. Not at 4 in the morning like Dawkins likes to do.
No, yeah, no.
Hey guys, we're gonna be playing at 4 in the morning. That sound good? That's no.
No, yeah, no.
How am I gonna do that, Adam? But there was a lot of rambunctiousness back then. It was a crazy time. It was a crazy time. We really, who was around? President Card was around back then.
He was. I don't know if he was as aware of the. I mean, he was kind of more on the business side.
Yeah,
of things.
he's a businessman. That guy's been a businessman. I guarantee, President Card looked like a businessman. Looked just like he does now.
When he was 13.
When he was 13. It's like. Is it Moonrise Kingdom or one of those?
Are you talking about like the Tannenbaums where the little kid is
Yeah,
just like
the Tannenbaums.
a little little Stiller is just cranking the numbers out.
I guarantee Rod Card is retiring right now on President Card's
investments from when he was 13.
From when he was 13.
Look, Dad, what I think you should do
in a suit. You're right, because President Card was he does not have. There's no skeletons there. That's a man that's all business.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
I love the dude, and I love that he's the president of this school. I hope that makes up for the stuff. Not that our president's listening to this.
I'm sure he's got a live. He's probably the only person. It's just in his office right now. He's piping in. I gotta hear that Bruno and Walsweer. He also doesn't sound like that, so I don't know why.
Did you just give him like a Long Island?
I kind of did.
I was telling him, I'm like, I remember when you were a young whippersnapper, and he's like, I'm 2 years younger than you, Walsweer. It's like, well, you seemed young to me back then, but the reality of it is he's always been super, super on top of things.
Your phone's going off. You, by the way, are quite a phone guy.
Yeah, I am like that. I should probably take this.
Oh, well, go ahead and put it on speaker.
Hey, Shan, what's up? I'm doing a podcast with Bruno right now.
Hi, Shannon.
Hey, would oh, is that they have that today? What time is it? Okay, I can.
Well,
yes, absolutely.
He's going to be a little late.
All right. Hey, take care. Bye. Yeah, apparently the missus will be taking Marco to wrestling. I didn't know they were doing it.
Ringworm Central.
Oh my God! It's it is what it is. The little dude sure loves his wrestling though.
Hulk wrestle.
Yeah. Problem is he has to wrestle with kids that are older because he's big. So that's that. But hey, man,
it builds character. You and I both put on that spandex and wrestled before.
Uh-huh.
I sucked.
What does not kill you makes you stronger.
It's true. Did I get stronger? I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't.
It killed me emotionally.
It did. When my mom,
I could say that.
When my mom was front row and my little like JV meet, and you would hear. I mean, she had all these nicknames for me, but when you would just hear her call out
Buttercup.
No, like Rudy Lou is one. And you would just hear, I'd be like, some dude with a mohawk from the middle of Missouri. This is like would show up, and I'd be like, this guy's already got tattoos. And I had just had to like run around the school for 4 hours to lose the last 2 pounds.
Oh, little fatty.
And then you hear my mom, go, Rudy Lou, and then just poof, and that's it.
Yeah. I had a little better career.
I'm sure you did.
But that it wasn't any better on my stomach. I mean, look, New Jersey wrestling, I don't know about Missouri. It is cockfighting with 4-year-old kids. You get thrown out there in one of these ridiculous singlets at 4. I mean, they're fine for guys that are in college, but I don't know why a 4-year-old needs a singlet.
No, they really don't.
My kid has one, and he's got to wear one. But and then you just hear all the dads. There were no moms. It's like the high school gym on a Saturday for 5 hours,
Ugh.
4 matches. My kid just did one last week.
I don't know how
that's
you do
kind
that.
of the wrestling's kind of mom's project. She really kind of digs it though, because she enjoys that like hand-to-hand combat thing in some kind of twisted way. Like she loves watching little Butters go at it. And Butters goes at it. He don't mess around.
I don't think I'm sure he excels.
Well, there's a weight class issue, and you got all these kids from this Ponderosa area that it's like they've been wrestling since they were 1 year old.
They have been.
Yeah, you get a singlet instead of a onesie down there, and they're really good. So when you run into one of them at one of these meets, it's ugly. It's ugly.
It's good for you, build character.
Yeah, and he's a bull. He can stay in there for at least 40 seconds if it's one of those kids, just by bull strength. But those kids are unbelievable. They're better than I was in 9th grade, and they're like 4.
Well, there you go. There's something.
Yeah, well, but anyway, getting back to some of the things that we've been asked to.
Oh yeah, let's do our question and answer.
We have a couple questions. The first is going to be this whole facial hair thing.
Yours in particular, because they're used to mine.
Yeah, they are used to yours, but I'm talking more from a. I think the kids want to know why they can't have well-groomed facial hair at the school because we give them a month where they love it.
Yeah, well-groomed, quote unquote. They're not doing a good job with that. I mean, you and I love the dirt.
Yeah.
There's sort of a charm about that.
Yeah.
It's kind of a, I hate to be gender specific, but like the guy code of appreciating somebody else's facial hair.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of, this is the stupid things that we bond over. So it
Yeah.
is kind of fun. My first mustaches are always a hit.
Oh, yeah.
So, who's doing a pretty good job with his stash right now is Mr. Robbins.
That's true.
I don't know if you've seen it.
Mr. Robbins has done and Luca.
Yeah, well, Luca's got my first mustache. And, oh, by the way, props to them for bringing out the Turtleneck Tuesday.
Which we will be participating
They
in.
look, yeah, we need to get some. They look like, Luca, every time he does it, looks like Ross. But I saw a little Compensano today.
Oh.
And it's basically like, it's like a shorty short for his neck. It's like his neck is his new quad that he's trying to show off.
Yeah.
He had this big, old,
Uh-huh.
old school power turtleneck on.
Everything about him has to be power.
Yeah, it is.
And then Hamilton had the young Hemingway look.
I saw that.
Yeah, the sloppy Joe's Hemingway turtleneck.
Yep. And then
sweaters.
Mir, how are these kids? Because the rooms are hot. Mir had like
They don't.
turtleneck and then one of your thick little
well,
professorial.
Wafer
bullet.
did that.
Yeah.
He's all turtleneck with like reindeer
And I'm
sweater.
like, how are these kids not passing out the rooms like 89, 90?
Don't worry, Rawlings. I haven't forgot you. That was a heck of a turtleneck you brought in today. It looked good. You looked really good.
And
But
where are these kids getting these turtlenecks?
And in all fairness, Luca, I called out today. That was a mock turtleneck.
Tactical garment, as they like to say in Archer.
It's still popular in the baseball community. 'Cause
Well,
they're like
you
60
kind of,
years
yeah,
behind fashion.
they are. Oh, man.
Anything.
Side rant, real quick. Sorry, Breedy. Just produce,
Yeah. Oh no. And say you can just give it a passive aggressive title
Right.
like you did last.
Like, exactly. I will say, when I look at the material that baseball players wear, I'm like, how have you not caught up with the times?
Oh.
Those are uncomfortable. And my biggest pet peeve of all time, why does a coach have to wear the uniform?
A numbered uniform and not just gear that says Regis Baseball.
Right.
Look,
That would be like Ken Shaw wearing a hoops uniform on the side.
he's got.
And I'm sure he'd look good.
He'd look great, but he's got the full tearaway
Right.
stance.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous. Now, the one thing I would say, I know from a soccer perspective, is you do warm up the players, but baseball, like what?
No, but soccer coaches aren't wearing the short shorts
You're
and
right,
the
you're
uniform.
right,
You
you're
guys
right.
are just wearing
And
like
sweats.
normal workout clothes,
Yeah.
which would be fine for a baseball coach. But they have to wear in the belts,
Oh,
all tucked in.
dude, and that polyester, and what's with the pant under
I
the shoe?
don't understand.
You know who looks great? Who looks great is what's his name? San Francisco, the Giants.
Yeah.
Old school, socks high.
Well,
That-
high socks. If you play baseball and you don't do high socks, you're missing out.
You are. You're disgracing the entire game.
You
I
really
feel,
are.
because those are the fathers of the sport,
It's true.
and to not
If you have to wear those uncomfortable uniforms from 1954,
and a cotton sock's a
Oh
lot more
my
comfortable than
God.
that gross polyester down
Yeah.
your leg. Once again, we're descending into view.
right?
But anyway, the facial hair thing. Getting back to that, we had the funniest part of this is you used to be able to have a mustache, which is the creepiest.
And they were ugly
And
in the best way
kids-
possible.
And there was
I mean
that
by the
one
best way.
kid, I think, who broke the school. The kid that grew that mustache.
God, if we could only remember his name. It wasn't one of the Purcell brothers, was it?
I don't
No.
know, but I know that it disturbed everybody. It was such a good mustache, but just way too much of it didn't. It looked
Right,
yeah,
I understand.
A little sketch. But I think he broke up because the policy no facial hair went away. But the kids go to like Marquette High School, where those kids can have full beards,
Yeah.
and they logically ask, and not like a whole lot of soccer players could have full beards. My travels, but it's fair for them to ask at least. I speak as one of you guys. My facial hair is horrible, but they were like, "Why do they get to have full beards?" And I pride myself on honesty, and I just say to the kids, I just don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. And this is something that maybe we should look at, because I think this month, we got kids looking really good. Will Towle has a brilliant.
Tally has an amazing beard.
He has an amazing beard. That's a quality beard. Who any other?
There's some kid who I don't know his name, but I saw him the other day, and he was looking pretty good. His would definitely fill in. If he had the year to go for it, it could get completely covered. I mean, it would look like it's supposed to. My problem now, and as you can tell, I've gone a lot shorter lately, is when I'm out in the world and see those giant beards, I'm sick of them, and then I hate the fact that I was that guy. So now I'm kind of self-conscious of it, and I'm sort of going away from it. Now I'm not going clean-shaven. There's no need for me to look like 13.
That's a good call.
Right.
A good stash, though.
I've done the stash before. You've seen that.
It's a good stash. You know who has maybe the best stash? Dawkins.
Oh, bird flu does, especially when he has to grow it out.
When he sent that picture to us of that was incredible.
Yeah.
That was Flanders.
Well, Dawkins should do the handlebars in all fairness.
Yes.
It would add a level of cool to this place that we have not seen in a while.
I might go with the handlebar.
Yeah.
I got it. It's going to take a while.
You got to fill in.
I got to fill in, but if I can get it, I'm going to get it.
Handlebar's all right.
I like the handlebar.
That could be a summer move for me. We'll have to see where my head's at.
Handlebar's a good move, man. And if you take the handlebar and get it a little farther out, like
Yeah, I don't know about that. That's more who's that?
Burnside-ish type.
Oh no, I'm not a Burnside guy. Although the Civil War was, that was when beards were king.
Yeah, and Burnside he's the namesake.
He is.
He's the namesake of the sideburn. Kids, see, we're here to educate as well.
Mm-hmm.
Here to educate as well. Anyway, the jury's out on the facial hair. Our female listeners, that'd be great if you would just call in at any time. We've already fielded one call from my wife about my kid getting to wrestling. The lines are open. Anyway, a couple other issues that what do you think about this? We've gotten the turtlenecks.
Wow, I covered that one without even knowing.
Yeah, you did. Let me ask you. Kanye's gone a little crazy.
Oh man, you're asking the wrong guy. Because I have never been ever supported Kanye. I've never liked his rap. Wow. Thought it was soft and weak. I'm no expert, but I'm like the pop guys, like those guys who are just a little bit above, like more of on the gangster side. I have never liked it. But again, I'm no expert, so maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But then again, there's a lot of hip hop that I do enjoy, and there's a lot of artists that I respect a lot. So he is not the best one for me to talk
I'm with you now, sort of now, but like, what was it, graduation and
didn't like it,
back to school or whatever, like that trilogy he did.
And I understand. There's a lot of people who give tons of props to that. It's for whatever reason it didn't resonate with me.
I liked it, man. I really liked it. But the dude canceled his entire tour.
He's having is
he going crazy?
Oh, he's definitely. There's. What do you mean is? Look at some of the things he said in the last handful of years. Whenever he tries to whatever, everybody's allowed to have their opinion, but when he gets into politics, it just doesn't sound.
He doesn't come off well.
No.
Is it possible to go crazy being married to Kim Kardashian?
Yes.
Yeah. I figured that was
I don't know. I would go crazy. I'm never going to be famous. If I was that famous, I would be crazy.
I think you're right.
I would not be able to handle this. I'm not strong-willed enough to not care what people say, not let it get to me. I do not like the spotlight. I don't want the minor things that I do to be like show up on the news.
Yeah.
Like Bruno takes out the trash.
Yeah. And
here's a picture of him doing it.
And they're going through your trash.
Yeah. That's where, I like being on my own sometimes.
It's tough, man. I'm not a hater of fame, people that are famous, because, and we just had Selena Gomez come out and be like, yeah, I was kind of going nuts.
Yeah.
And it's true.
Hendrix. I mean, well, the list goes on and on of people who were literally depressed.
They don't die at
fandom.
27
No.
because they're doing great.
Right.
Joplin, but Kanye's made it past 27.
He sure has.
So I mean, at least he's not going to join that list. I think he'll probably be all right. But he does. My point is, like everything I've seen lately, he's going a little crazy, dude. The last 3 weeks.
Yeah, I can't really get behind it because I've sort of felt like that for the last few years with him.
Yeah. Well, from the Taylor Swift on
that, and then the whole, the classic, and I hate to say that it's funny, but when he and Mike Myers are doing the money for Hurricane Katrina, and he went off script, and basically
that was weird.
Took an opportunity to raise money for a good cause to go off on Bush's presidency, which I understand maybe you don't agree with him, but that got really dark.
But it got dark, real dark.
He basically,
it was the charity thing that you're supposed to be all about the charity, and then it got weird. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Well, I'm worried about him. I'm not gonna lie. I loved that trilogy, and I haven't really listened to much of his stuff lately because it's gotten so overproduced. But I am worried about him. We love arts, and we love the arts. And I hate to see, probably one of the most profound events in my life was Kurt Cobain. That's my generation, is Cobain. I was in my 20s, and I'm Cobain's age. And so that, for me, that killed me. That was, I remember Lennon. I was 14 when Lennon, I went to Central Park with my bros. I don't know if it was out of mourning. That would be, I don't want to misrepresent myself. I think it was just to go be a part of the whole thing. Because at that time, I grew up, I liked the Beatles a lot. My parents liked the Beatles a lot. But I remember the Lennon thing, and I remember Cobain. But the thing about the Cobain thing, and like when you talk about the Hendrix and the Janis Joplins, these, they just died so prematurely.
Right.
That I just don't really, it's been a rough year emotionally. David Bowie died.
Prince.
Cohen. And Cohen, Cohen, I mean, God,
he's old.
He's like 100. And that song, Hallelujah, is the worst song I've ever heard in my life. But I like a lot of his other stuff.
Early.
Yeah, you're right.
Once he started doing the low voice, it's cool to an extent because it reminds me of the opening of that amazing, underrated Christian Slater film, Pump Up the Volume.
Oh, it's awesome. If you kids have not seen, and adults have not seen Pump Up the Volume, it is, I guess it's a soundtrack movie.
Yeah, it is.
But it's pretty cool.
Pirate radio.
Goes pirate. And the coolest thing about it is, like, he goes pirate before pirate radio is cool.
Yeah, for sure.
That's like a 92.
I don't remember when it was made. And I don't know how I ended up watching it. Too young to really get it, but I remember thinking that was the coolest movie ever.
It was awesome. And do you remember when Christian Slater, underrated.
By the way, have you seen him I saw him over the summer, not in person. We're not Christian Slater's a huge fan of the podcast.
No one's listening.
Yeah, that's true. He looks younger than I do. Now, granted, there's a lot of Botox, I'm sure, going on that face, but the dude's holding in.
And he's probably getting therapy. I mean, we could take 10 years off our lives or off our aging just by getting good therapy.
Yeah, we're really missing out.
But
we do have these pies.
We do have those pies, dude, and no one's going to take those pies from us.
Yeah, better not.
But Heathers?
Gleaming the Cube?
Gleaming the Cube. But, I know it's kind of a dark topic, but Heathers addressed the whole suicide thing.
Yeah, it did.
Long before, anybody. Christian Slater, I'm going to go right ahead and say he's sort of a film pioneer.
I haven't thought that through, but I'm not going to say no right away.
Yeah. Heathers was brilliant, and he did a Jack Nicholson for Heathers.
Yeah.
Which was unreal. No one had seen something.
Obviously, we're not mentioning maybe one of his kind of prime early works, too, with True Romance.
Oh my God, I forgot all about that. He was unbelievable
Yeah.
in that movie.
That movie is severely underrated.
That movie's and Brad
Christopher
Pitt,
Walken, Brad Pitt,
Gandolfini.
Yeah, wow.
That's a disturbing scene, by the
Michael
way.
Rappaport.
Rappaport's an underrated actor.
Have you seen? There is a movie with him. I want to say it's not called Special, but it might be where it's a super low budget one where he is in depression and they give him this drug and he has this weird psychosomatic reaction to it where he thinks he's a superhero. And he just kind of is in this beat LA neighborhood and then goes to the local like rundown grocery store and sort of becomes the hero there. But I don't want to say much more about it. We'll have to look it up. Kids, you can IMDb Michael Rappaport and look for one.
Rappaport in general is hysterical.
He's fire.
That guy is gold.
Yeah, he is.
The Markel asked for us to address our favorite movie of all time.
You know me, I don't do favorites.
It's hard to do favorites.
I mean, it's just more fun to talk about movies that I really hold a soft spot in my heart more than anything. So, like, speaking of Rappaport, Bamboozled.
Yeah.
And he's a big, he's an interesting dude. He was basically in the like late 80s, early 90s New York hip hop scene as the token white guy that hung out with all of them.
Yeah.
And was there from ground zero on that. So
he discovered hip hop.
He was
at a young age.
Yeah.
And that was going to be his career. Not as an artist, but as like a journalist / like.
And isn't that's kind of how he got his in on higher learning, right?
Yeah. Then
because
he knew
the hip hop culture that was part of that film.
He knows hip hop culture inside. Now
really
Spike
does.
Lee loves him.
Yeah, they're boys.
Yeah, and so when you got Spike Lee behind you, because Spike Lee, he likes Rappaport, he likes Turturro,
yeah,
he likes Edward Norton. As far as when you're making movies about the inner city of New York,
right?
You're from enlisting the work of Caucasian males. That's a hard gig to get with Spike Lee, because Spike Lee is a freaking genius.
Yes,
and when he puts you in a film, your career takes off. So there are a few guys that have. I mean, when you look at Do the Right Thing,
yeah,
oh my God,
great film.
Like, how well was that pizzeria cast?
Oh, it's amazing.
That pizzeria is unbelievable.
It is.
It's so believable if you're from that area, and the dynamic that he captures in that whole part of the city, that whole Brooklyn thing. Well, it's not Brooklyn anymore.
No, it's not.
Brooklyn's a bunch of people from Iowa pretending to be hipsters now, on their parents' dollar. Brooklyn is no more. New York, I love you, but you're bringing me down.
Yeah.
But to answer Markel's question, I was with you when he brought it up. It was like, that's a long conversation. I stick by. I mean, there's so many great ones, but like Badlands has always been, because we were
love it. I'm a big Terrence guy.
Yeah, we were just talking about that whole how important imagery and sound is, and the nuance sound.
Yeah.
And that Terrence Malick does nuance. Even the opening to the New World with the
brilliant
the
opening. I mean, he's so now he's getting a little too artsy, but that is kind of his vision now. It's less about like putting a stream narrative together and more about like fragmentation. I mean, he's kind of a modernist in that sense of filmmaking in a weird way.
But then you come back, and then do you remember going to see Scarface the first time? I do.
I don't think I saw it. I do remember the first time I saw that film and it being, I'm trying to think, man, that's an interesting one to call up, because there's a few, like the early, being too young to really probably should have seen it, but seeing Scarface and maybe like Goodfellas, some of those, like these
Goodfellas?
Just hard hitting male violent films.
Apocalypse Now?
Yeah, that was a game changer.
Like, are you kidding me? Taxi Driver?
Taxi Driver,
Markel,
wow.
what are you thinking asking us to name our favorite films?
It's not going to go well.
Get it together.
I will give props to recent one. In the last few years, my two favorites have been Upstream Color. Love that film. And however it translates out into English, it's The Great Beauty or Grand Beauty. Those two have been kind of game changers for me. I really liked Arrival. I just saw it. Kids, over Thanksgiving, watch it. It's phenomenal.
Huh? Because I am a huge Blade Runner Prometheus guy.
Yep.
Those
I
two.
love Prometheus. Blade Runner I like, but I have to be honest. As many times as I've seen it, I've never gotten it as much as you like it more than I. I think you're into it more than I. I love it, but I don't love it.
I do. Prometheus, though, I mean, Prometheus is so cool.
You and I both have a weird. Oh, there's another space. We both like those space movies.
Yeah.
What's the Clune one we liked?
Solaris.
Solaris, I loved. What was the Sun one with? What's his name?
Incredibly sexy dude.
Murphy.
Cillian Murphy.
Cillian Murphy.
That's
movie was
Sun
awesome.
one. That's a Danny Boyle film.
Yeah, well, we both like Boyle.
I do. I love everything Boyle does, but that Cillian Murphy, the one with
Underrated.
way underrated.
Yeah.
And, dude, the Solaris with Clooney.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's one of the most beautifully romantic films.
Yes, it
of
is.
all. If you are a romantic, if you consider yourself a romantic, check out Solaris. Like, it is.
The original is great, and it's cooler for its date. But I kind of like the Clune one more.
Yeah, well, because Tarkovsky made it in the '60s, and
Yeah.
it didn't have the acting in the Tarkovsky's brilliant. It captures the romance is unbelievable, but the Clune it's updated. They do better job casting.
Yeah.
It's creepier.
It is creepy, but the tone of it, that's another great. I love tonal films where it's less about the story and more about like what like you said, the sound, the imagery. There's a minimalism on that set where, I mean, yes, you are in a spaceship, but that's where it is. And it's that artificial lighting, low lit corners, that weird purple thing that's outside that's always kind of like lighting them.
Yeah.
I love that stuff.
I'm with you, man. And I love I'm such like a romantic. You know, it's like a romantic in the like German romanticism.
Right.
I don't want a happy ending.
No.
But I want the ending, but I want there to be this connection between a man and a woman, or a dude and a dude. I don't care. Like where, like Brokeback Mountain, like that connection is a beautiful connection that it's not a happy ending, but it's no matter what it is, if it's Solaris, whatever it is, I just want that connection to be made, and because there are no happy endings.
Yeah.
And I want that. That's where the whole, I love German romanticism.
Well, but see, there's a weird inverse to that, is that it is kind of in a weird way happy because of how beautiful the loss is. Like, you actually feel for those characters and realize that the relationship was there. So to me, that's where like the buy-in. Because if they walk off into the sunset together, you go, that's good for them. Here I am on the couch.
Yeah, and but it's that touching, that heightened love that for another person.
Sure,
I think that's amazing. It's that's filmmaking. Like Badlands. We're talking about Badlands. Martin Sheen's love,
for
Sissy Spacek is astounding, and where it goes is so bizarre.
Yeah, it's weird and creepy.
But that love, like he sees her and he knows that, and she sees him, and she's distrusting, but. It's just a beautiful film, and then you throw in Terrence Malick's cinematography, and it's like, bam! Here's the greatest movie ever made. The Apocalypse Now, the Kurtz.
Oh man, I thought you were going to talk about. Go ahead.
No, but like that kind of a character, like how you just love how he's got this thing, that he's touching something that none of us will get to
I mean,
touch.
if I'm there. I'm partying with Dennis Hopper, and I'm worshiping that guy too, and hanging out with the tree people because it's got to be better than the war.
I love that Kurtz knew it was better than the war.
Yeah,
like he's just like, you know what? I got a better idea than the war. My idea is to embrace this culture and turn it into my own little kingdom.
Right. I mean, if we're going to be primitive man with big guns, why not simplify that primitive nature? Go all the way.
Primitive.
Yeah.
Hey. It's unbelievable, and that also has the Charlie Sheen to The Doors, the end.
Martin.
I'm sorry, Martin Sheen, to the end.
That do you know that opening? You've seen that?
Yeah, it's all real.
Well, yeah, he was actually just blacked out,
Yeah.
and they filmed it, and he woke up the next day and said, "How did I cut my hands?"
Yeah.
And Coppola was like, no reason." And then he went to see the film, and he was like, "Oh my god."
That's the one where Coppola yells at Sheen's assistant for Sheen having a heart attack.
Yeah. So there's a couple scenes in that movie, kids. See if you can spot it, where there's another guy that's actually not Martin Sheen smoking a cigarette, and you just see him from behind. That's because he had a heart attack in the middle of that film because he was going hard.
And who's the kid who was 16?
That's Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne.
That's a sad. See, there's another great moment. Here he is in the middle of listening to a tape that is a letter from his mom. He gets shot and killed, and the tape plays over it.
Yeah. Oh,
that's
dude.
German romanticism.
Yeah, it is, dude. Like that movie's beautiful
Yeah,
from top to bottom. So is the Conrad novel, dude. I mean,
it is.
It's amazing. So to answer, but lately, Markel, I'll give you in the last like 10 years, man, I have Sicario.
Amazing. We just talked about
Sicario.
that before the show.
I have Drive.
Love Drive.
Incredible film. Both those films you turn me on to because I have a child.
I know.
And I don't get to keep.
I have no life, so I get to see him a little quicker.
And then Prometheus. In the last few years, man, those.
What about There Will Be Blood?
Oh, that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole the landscape to that. I've abandoned my child. To anything, Daniel, I have made it perfectly clear that with the exception of that stupid Lincoln, which was the most miserable.
You know what
film.
it was that ruined it for him? It was that he talked high, and we're so used to him just having such a growl.
Yeah. But I gotta tell you, like anything Daniel Day-Lewis does is fine by me.
Yes, it is.
I have a huge crush on that
man
dude.
Crush on Daniel.
Oh, well, yeah, it's not a man crush. It's a straight up crush.
Right.
If my wife's listening, she's gonna have to deal with that.
Bill the Butcher was a foundational character
good
for me.
God, that character was so good. He was able to get past Cameron Diaz and Leo DiCaprio acting.
Yes, it's very true.
That's how good that movie was.
And that movie still holds up because of him. You remove him from it, and it's the dumbest movie. It's
dumbest
Waterworld without him.
It's awful without him. It really is. Well, it's not just him. It's Liam Neeson is awesome. He's not in it very long.
Yeah, it's
so
true.
Kids don't blink. But the Liam Neeson and then the guy who was working for Liam Neeson who then just
crosses over. Yeah, the freelancer. The Irish guy. Yeah. Well, I like Little McGloin, the bald guy. He's so fired up all the time.
And what's his name? Is Boss Tweed in that? And he did that.
Oh yeah, he's in a lot.
He did that incredible job as the Ringling Brother. What was that movie?
Yeah. What is his name?
I forget, but that he's great. That movie. Well, Scorsese did like 20 months of research on the 5 points, and I grew up going into that area because all the punk shows and metal shows were in the Bowery, and so that's the point.
The opening to that opening battle scene where you're like, wait, what is going? Oh my Lord, here we go.
And the tenement.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So. For the record, Markel, I'm glad you asked the question. There's no way we're going to narrow it down. We've given you some great suggestions, but, for the record, I can't narrow it down to one. It's just not possible.
No, me neither.
I love so many different films.
We need to move on.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to get caught in this. Although that was a good portion. It took us about 45 minutes to say anything remotely intelligent. And Breedy, for the record, I think we stayed on topic for 10 minutes.
Yeah, that was 10 minutes, Breedy. So tone down your passive-aggressive titling of the thing. So anyway, man.
What else we got?
We've covered most of the.
That's what your kids asked their period?
Well, they wanted Luca wanted us to dissect. So he loves music.
Oh boy, here we go. Yeah.
And so he wants us to pick the best song out there right now.
No, I can't do that.
See, I kind of can. In that new Double X song, is cool. The way that they kind of got it's just they're geniuses.
Yeah, that Jamie XX album.
Yeah,
that's solo. I don't like that style, but that is one of the greatest albums for me in the last few years.
That's good. I mean, I could dissect that, but I've been the thing is, I love Wild Nothing,
Yeah, so do I.
but I'm not dissecting songs now. I'm still in the now. There's I've been listening to a ton of that Deer Tick because
Yeah.
that album I've listened to more than any other album in the last 7 or 8 years.
And that's like, that's like the
that's
second
War
coming
Elephant.
of drunken cowboy song that is over masculinized yet some beauty in it as well.
Oh,
We're picking up on some themes for you.
The heartache.
Yeah,
in
there's a
there.
lot of good ones.
But Deer Tick has several incredible albums, but the War Elephant is
the one.
One of the best albums of the last 20 years. And I would have to say it's the best album of the last 20 years because it's the one I've listened to the most by far.
I would disagree, but the best, but it's awesome.
Yeah, and
I got your back on Deer Tick.
And there's tons of great stuff out there. Don't get me wrong, but I've listened to that the most, so technically it's the best for me. But I love, man. The irony of it is they're from Providence, but in my opinion, it's the best. That's actually real country.
You could go that route.
Country right now is in such a pit of despair in a bad way, not the good way. Not the Waylon Jennings way.
No.
Not the Chris Christopherson. Not the George Jones. Not the Alan
Towns Van Zandt on heroin.
Towns Van Zandt. Not that way. That was good country. This new country is a disgrace. There is nothing okay about this new country, dude.
You're offending half of our listeners. Gherkin has got to be real, and I feel like he's a country guy.
And look, my point is anybody that claims to like country knows exactly what I'm saying and tolerates the new country because they don't like the other stations, but it's a bad place, man. Because I don't have its back. I try and listen to some of it, and it is honestly like listening to it's just, well, I can't use cliche because old country, every music, all music. It's just so homogenized.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Well, it's pop music now.
And let me put a caveat there. There's a couple guys out there right now, and I like country music. I like old school country music. There's a couple guys out there that are kind of going back to that. And
Sturgill?
Yes. And there's another one. There's a couple guys going.
I own that album and enjoy it.
Yeah. So I misspoke. There seems to be a movement within country to bring it back to the country, but they are either coming out of a very dark period of terrible music, and hopefully they're going into a renaissance, or these are enigmas coming out right now. Who's the other one that's come on, man?
I don't know.
Oh, come on, man. He's good though, man, and I forget. I forget, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So I can only talk about the music that I'm listening to right now. Luke, I can't dissect a song. I will tell you right now that Frightened Rabbit album is very good. Poppy but good. The new Tribe is you kind of nailed that. You're right. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Poor Britty's out there like, I'd like to go and enjoy
Britty's
my Thanksgiving.
Okay, now I'd like to. Yeah.
We gotta let Britty go, but I will say, from a female artist level, that Sharon Van Etten is unbelievable.
Love her. And then the new Angel Olsen is great.
Oh my God, Angel Olsen, and who am I forgetting here? Because I've been listening to a ton of it.
Oh man, I know who I gotta drop in there too for you kids. There's a band that came out a couple years ago called Woo Life, WU space LYF. It's post rock with a screechy metal voice.
Yep.
He went kind of a little, not loony, but he broke up with his band. Woo Life should be owned. That's an amazing album. But the new album is the band is called Lost Under Heaven, and it's spiritual songs for lovers to sing, and it is well worth a listen.
Okay, and let me plug the new War Paint. I like
yeah.
Love that album. PJ Harvey too. It's like Tribe.
The new PJ?
New PJ.
I love vintage PJ.
Yeah, but the new she's trying to go back.
Okay.
She is a few songs off, but she definitely has the best sound she has had in a while because you and I go back on PJ Harvey.
Yeah.
I was in love with PJ Harvey.
Yeah, I've got her back.
In the 90s. But anyway, Brittany, we got to let this kid go for
Hey,
Thanksgiving.
in the future, if you do have questions or topics you would like us to talk about, drop us a line. And for all you sponsors out there, what a great way to reach the kids.
And remember, Synergy, Uggs, Happy Leaf. We are
Cliff
we're
Bar.
filling up. We're filling up with huge advertisers.
Miss Hotelling's Kitchen.
Yeah, exactly. If she were the only one that sponsored us, that'd be the best day ever.
Yeah, we
got
technically we were sponsored today.
We got this pumpkin bread.
This bread was amazing.
And parents, these pies are unreal. We cannot thank you enough. Students, we love all of you. You're the reason we work here. And Brittany, the best producer on the planet,
ever.
and he is staying here on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
And
break.
football team whoops some ass this.
Let's
this
go
weekend.
get it done.
Let's go get it done. Remember, kids, it's 110% is going to win this game.
Right, not 100.
Whoever controls the line of scrimmage is probably going to win this game.
Yep.
Team with the less.
Hey, if you're just a little river, a little pond, a little puddle over on the side, you
are you an
matter.
ocean?
You matter.
It's not whether you sail the ship through the storm.
It's
whether you bring
the
it back into
storm
port.
sails the ship through you.
Just guys, bring a big football IQ into this game. Thanks.
Dawkins, I stole your Grateful Dead mug.
Yeah, Dawkins, good luck getting that back. But God knows how much you've stolen from us.
Yep.